Action item, request for tree removal, Mr. Weaver, and this is in everybody's packet.
That's the ones you showed me?
Correct.
And that's just one tree.
It's just one
It's-
tree.
I believe it's two.
There's three.
Two trees.
I thought it was, I think it's just two is what so it was only supplied 2 pictures and they are different trees. So here we are, here's one of them.
I was up at Bob's,
Were you?
yeah, yesterday, and he showed me 3.
Oh, he's only told us 2. So it's kind of been an ongoing thing. I don't know if you remember during substantial completion walkthrough with Le Riviere, we all went up and looked at the trees. This is one, so far I've only been supplied 2 pictures, and then there's this one as well. Half the time, you know, yes, there's sap, yeah, and
The problem here lies is that there hasn't been proper PM taking care of these, what were weeds at one time, chopping them down and making sure the stuff didn't grow on top of our transmission lines. They weren't weeds, they were trees, they're saplings and such like that. I'm calling them a weed because we don't want them there. And they should have been taken care of when they were really young and easy to whack, and now it's been let go. But I mean, we got this problem everywhere. Not everywhere. We have many areas.
well, he's claiming that Le Riviere hit them, and so that's what it said during construction that they were hit.
On the biggest one, which I don't see a really good picture of in here, something hit it, because you can see where the bark.
Yeah, this one
And
right
it's
here.
sap is, yeah.
Yeah.
That looks more like a split.
No,
down.
that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Neither one of these are the ones that I'm thinking of, but you can tell, and it didn't go down to the tree, it's just the bark.
Yeah.
But the bark's deep, you know, probably 1.5 inches deep, and it took it almost down to the tree, and the tree's leaning.
Yeah.
And were some, my question is, some of the roots taken out?
No.
When they rebuilt the
No.
pipe?
Nothing was disturbed in that
Okay.
regards.
Okay.
See, I was not, even though it said remove damaged trees, I did not see in here that this was damaged because of La Riviera.
Yeah, which is why it became part of our substantial completion walkthrough with Le Riviere, is because he claimed initially at that
I
time.
remember now.
Yeah.
See, and I've had more discussions with Mr. Weaver about other things, and that's where I was going with trees growing over our transmission lines. We know in the park and elsewhere we have that problem. Sorry, I gotta retract all of that poo I just said about cutting the saplings.
It all depends on how
do they know?
far we want to go into this.
Right.
And it'd take $200 or $300 to take those trees down.
No, so-
Oh, no.
Yeah, it'd be more than that.
It'd be
I was gonna say, $1,000 each.
800.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
I mean,
more.
they're-
More
But
months
it
paid
looks
for
like
$200
it
than
looked
one
like
across the street.
some of them you could fall.
Yeah, I think you can do all of them.
You wouldn't have
You can do
to.
all of them. The question I had was, how are people supposed to know where these lines are? I don't know where the lines are at my house. They're not marked anywhere. So you plant something, you don't know you're planting something on top of a water pipe.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's tricky. Yeah. I
It
mean,
is, and we,
part
the
of being a
easements
homeowner.
are easement book, knowing who, what, where, and people, you know, knew where their easements were way back when, and then people have moved, and people have moved in and moved out, and moved in and moved out, and that stuff is all, just kinda gets rolled
exactly.
over.
Yeah.
Bob's been there a long time.
He has
Yeah. You know.
Okay, well, I don't know, and, you know, when he first brought this up, we had trees all the time up where we lived previously, and it looked like those have been bleeding for a long time. We can argue that point, but what's the point?
Will these, if these fall the way they appear to be leaning, are they gonna fall on a house, or are they?
Well, the one that's leaning the most is leaning toward Bob's house.
It is toward Bob's house. Man, this is really, La Riviera should be taking care of the one that.
That would be my
But that is
Unlikely. So what do
unlikely.
we,
My only thing that I caution with the board is that every time you guys make a decision, you're setting a precedent.
Precedent.
Absolutely.
Right.
So,
And Bob went through a
He
lot
can take them to court.
of when we were redoing this
Oh, he
water
did.
line, and
Well, there's a river going down the street.
yeah, he went through a lot.
and I was out there personally helping him dig the ditches, and I helped him cover them back over. So, I mean, he's not like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you were out there with us.
Yeah, three of us.
Yeah,
And Sean was there.
I mean, we definitely want to take care of them, and we tried.
I mean, my gut feeling is I say no, because then we were gonna be having to tend to people's properties in the future for things like this. I feel for him, I wanna just do it, but like you say, or it's the precedent, you start setting a precedent by doing, and then it turns into favoritism. Well, you did it for them and you're not gonna do it for me. Well, you like them and you don't like me, and now you have a problem with me, so, yeah.
I think it's subcontractors the one that did it.
The Riviera.
Yeah, they're the ones that should take care of it. I would think.
so do we suggest
Yes.
Mr. Weaver
That would be going to.
You're correct.
contact an
Take this thing.
attorney to small claims?
Yes.
to that kind of thing?
Or do
That'd be
we,
the best.
do we
So-
send to our legal and have them, or do we just,
Advise.
Our legal takes care of district-related business, and
Yeah, we don't wanna accept.
And I think too, this will probably be thousands because you're talking about Cape Horn road control, traffic control, knowing what I've seen the prices lately. I don't think
that is very
it's
true.
It's like
I mean,
we're-
for traffic control, it's yeah.
You know it all.
For,
I
yeah,
wanna
just
pull
to,
my hair out.
this is the old days, me and my dad.
So
Out there cutting
then
down
our
trees.
solution is that we recommend Mr. Weaver file against La Riviere a claim to remove those trees.
It would be hard to prove that La Riviere caused that.
Well, the sewer and water district certainly didn't cause it,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
What's that?
We didn't cause it. If anybody caused it, whatever their
Yeah,
name is,
Yeah, La Riviere.
yeah, they caused it. But if a forestry person came out, a tree specialist came out and said, no, this is all fine, the trees are not gonna die, blah, 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 it's a moot point, right? To me, that's where I go first, is I'd have a tree expert come out and tell us if this damage is worth anything, if there is any, consequences to the damage, and if they say no,
We're done.
we're done.
That's ingenious.
I mean,
How would we get a hold of college, or?
I
That's
drive
up to
up
That's up to
the
him.
road where
If he's
the arborists
asking,
have been
it's
here
always
for
up to the
2
person
weeks.
asking.
Why should we do
Say,
it?
can you take cash and some money to people that
Oh,
live
I
with
know,
us?
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't handle him.
I mean, there's tons
actually,
of
if I was
arborists.
Bob, I would hire the forestry people myself to come out and make a determination before I start barking. That's just me. But I'm not gonna start barking at somebody until I know if there's really a problem, it's
And
just
that's
not in my mind, right?
Great point.
But that's,
So you have the ammunition that you're coming at. 'Cause
yeah,
Right
you've
now,
already,
right now, he's just asking.
correct. And we might suggest that, in whoever talks to him, that he do that. Cause I don't think that would cost them
That is-
much more than $100 or whatever, a consulting fee to come out and look at some trees, that wouldn't cost them hardly anything.
Assuming they have time, just wanna send somebody out to do it for a few $100 when they're doing so
True,
much work.
true, but yeah, but if they're in the area one day or whatever,
There's
Might
local
not
tree
be
service.
tomorrow, but.
no.
There's
Yeah.
several local tree service folks that do that.
Should've gotten the ones that, busted our meter right across the street up there, they're, we're from Cooney Electric, every trees they put.
So I could follow up with a letter to him with those suggestions about, getting the assessment of the trees and that he might have a claim with the Riviera.
A short letter.
I just need a formal motion to include in this letter of what the board's decision is.
Are those trees on the easement?
They have to be, they're so close to the road, I would think, isn't the easement 15 feet, is that what it is? I don't know, right on Cape Horn, I don't live on Cape Horn, but
I think it depends if
it's an
it's,
arterial, so.
yes, yeah. I know there's 20 foot, and then you got 10 foot on each side of the center, or,
Right,
Usually.
I would say it's less than 10 feet away from the pavement on his side.
I would make a
Over
motion
the
that,
line,
I would make a motion that we have
Certainly, yes.
Bob, find the services of forestry to evaluate the trees and find out whether or not they would even, they're damaged to the point of needing to be fault. And then after that, he needs, if he still decides they need to come down, he should go to La Riviera and have them.
To pursue
I'll
the
suggest
right
those
stance.
things
Yeah.
into the letter, so is this a
And
formal
Sean, wouldn't
denial?
the proper wording be that you should have them evaluate to see if La Riviere caused enough damage to make those trees come down? In other words, specifically laying it on the contractor.
Actually,
I don't know if
Jesse
you can
just
do
said
that
That
with
would be hard.
no evidence.
Jesse just
no.
said, the letter would be that we are gonna not deny your claim. I make a motion, we deny the claim and recommend that Mr. Weaver find,
An arborist to look at
Ooh,
whether the damage
arborist.
That's
is
what I meant, yeah.
yeah,
significant enough to require the trees
Well,
being taken down.
but then, towards the end, he makes a statement that if he was taken off the liability,
Yeah.
stating
Yeah.
that he won't be
Yeah.
responsible.
he won't be responsible.
Or, yeah, and then also saying that if we deny the claim, you're correct, that he was asking that we write a letter, so stating that,
We
Uh,
can't do
That- That's an
that.
easement, isn't it? It's still his property.
Right,
Yeah, that's not our job, I
yeah.
don't think.
So is the claim to deny, or the motion is to deny it with
Deny.
recommendation to get a arborist to assess the value of the trees. If he feels he has a claim to talk to La Riviere, and also deny that the district will make any statement that they're responsible for the trees.
Right.
that we would
Okay, I will
remove
put that.
liability.
Responsible.
correct.
I have a
for
motion
trees
on the
because
board.
That would be my
Sean?
motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Because it's not on district property, that's why we need to.
Yeah, we don't wanna take responsibility for other people's property.
Mhm.